Percent, bias, and immediate rewards. The problem: your brain vastly prefers a small, immediate reward, like scrolling through TikTok or playing video games that release dopamine by the second, over a large, distant reward, like getting a university degree or buying a house. The brain considers the distant goal as taking too long and pushes you toward the screen. The solution: you need to trick your brain. Take your big goal, for example, studying a 150-page book, and divide it into tiny tasks. For example, reading only 5 pages today. Each small, completed task gives an instant reward to your brain, mimicking the TikTok effect, until the main goal is reached. 2. The cost and difficulty of starting the problem. You don't put off a task out of laziness, but because the first step is not clear. The thought of starting seems very heavy. Moreover, your environment is full of distractions, environmental friction, like having your phone sitting right in front of you when you need to work. The solution: make the starting point extremely clear. Tidy up your environment, hide the things that distract you, like your phone, and highlight the tools you need to accomplish your goal. 3. The conflict between the goal and your identity. The problem: there is internal motivation, doing what you love, and external motivation, doing it for money or peer pressure. If you have a goal that matches your identity, for example, you dream of being a doctor and you are studying medicine, the effort becomes instinctive. But if the goal is imposed on you and doesn't reflect who you are, accomplishing it will be a chore. The solution: life will sometimes force you to do things you don't like. The trick is to force this goal to match your identity through creativity. For example, do you hate creating mobile apps but love English? Create an app to learn English. That way, you find internal motivation. 4. Learned helplessness. The problem: if you have failed multiple times in the past, your brain registers a pattern. Faced with a new task, it predicts that you will fail again. To save energy, it cancels the task before you even start. You do nothing, so you fail, which confirms to your brain that it was right. The solution: you must force your way through and try, even if your brain tells you that you are going to fail. By accomplishing small tasks, see point 1, you gain small victories. This proves to your brain that it is wrong to predict failure. You need to understand that failure is a normal statistical fact of life, not a personality trait. 5. The biological factor. Sleep. The problem: this is an element outside your direct control. If you sleep poorly, a substance called adenosine builds up in your body. This drains your physical energy. Making an effort becomes way too costly for the body, and concentration drops. The brain then logically chooses laziness. The solution: you absolutely must have a regular and consistent sleep schedule. This allows your biological clock to stabilize and removes physical fatigue from the laziness equation. 6. The most important: reprogramming the brain, neuroplasticity. The concept: why are some people never lazy? Because in the brain, a desire can take 2 paths: the path of laziness or the path of execution. If you have been lazy for a long time, the neural connections of the laziness path are thick and strong. Information goes there by default. The solution: brute force. To change your personality and become disciplined, you need to create new connections. How? By forcing yourself to accomplish small, random tasks that you hate. For example, tidying your room as soon as you think about it. By doing this, you strengthen the execution path. Over time, the connections for execution will become stronger, and the brain will eventually forget and erase the connections for laziness because they are no longer used. Conclusion. At the end, he points out that the modern world, cars, elevators, delivery apps, is designed to make us lazy. He also criticizes the current internet trend, where some content creators encourage people to settle for less. While it is good to be content, it shouldn't become an excuse to be lazy and not pursue the big goals that one truly deserves.